welcome to another Joshua live video, and today we're gonna go over the newly reworked / fixed / what the heck is going on speed boost. So, as you guys probably know, when 1.7 initially dropped, the biggest and probably most controversial part of the update was stat boosts. There's health boosts and damage boosts, and also speed boosts. Health boost, stat boost, they added up to a max of 50% of its of your dino's original stat. I almost said base stat. Original stat and speed went up to 100 points, free points. So basically, you could get like a 202 speed Rex if you wanted to, which is kind of yikes when you think about it. Like, you could have a 202 speed Rex facing like a 178, I don't know, just pulled that number out of nowhere, speed Diloracheirus or whatever. So that's pretty crazy. So after this whole like stat boost exploit thing, where people could just buy unlimited amounts of speed boosts, and for some other stat boosts, Ludia had to roll it back because obviously I guess they didn't intend that to happen, and you know, people are only allowed to buy limited amounts of the stat boosts. So they took away everyone's stat boost and refunded everyone with cash that they used to buy stat boosts. Even if you didn't buy them, they gave you cash for the free ones that you got from the daily incubator and stuff. So that was pretty nice, I guess. You know, if you guys don't know, the days with those unlimited stat boosts in the arena was basically unplayable. It was just horrible. So now they took away all those unlimited stat boosts. Now stat boosts are again very limited in the shop, and they also reworked the speed boost. So today we're going to talk about the speed boosts, mainly the new speed boost system. We're going to talk about how it compares to the old one. Some, you know, dinos that you want to look out for, like how many boosts should I put into my Thoradolosaur or Tenontorex or Utarinex or Diloracheirus or whatever. So first of all, we got a bit of a graph with a lot of different things to look at, which we'll explain in a bit. This is thanks to our Discord member Chreden. I think that's how you pronounce it. And you know, if you have any further questions or want to discuss it with us, you could join our Discord, which is linked in the description down below. So anyways, let's start with comparing the old speed chart to the new speed chart. Obviously, it's a huge drop off from max 100 to now only max 50. So you know, that's just what the total boost that you add up. The drop off isn't as steep as what you would have in the old ones with like tier 4, tier 5. Those are like huge ones. Although, you know, tier 4, tier 5 are still really large increases even with the new system, but like it's not as crazy. So there are some matchups you could, I guess, ignore with the new one. And first of all, let's look at the old speed boost and like what tier you need to get to like outspeed your last tier. With 109, you had to be at a tier 5 to outspeed tier 4, which was, you know, that was a huge that's the huge jump tier, right? That's the only one that's the only one where you can outspeed the last tier. And if you wanted to outspeed a base tier 126 dino, you had to start from tier 3. And then for 126, every other tier, except for the last tier and the first 2, which is, well, first 0 and 1, since it's hard to count tier 0 as a tier, but, you know, we'll count it as a tier here. Every other, all the other ones can outspeed 129's last tier. So, you know, with the old system, a tier 2 could outspeed a tier 1, tier 3 could outspeed a tier 2, etc., right? And now going to the new system, and we like the 3 tiers we really are looking at is the 109, 126, and 129, right? And if you guys don't know why, like, these are probably the most important speed tiers in the game with, like these three are probably the most important, and then the next two are probably 128 and 108, and then it's probably 107 and 124 maybe, and then there's like a drop of there's the 117s, 116s, the really odd ones, which are still relevant. 131s, those are getting more relevant now. So just so if you guys don't know why these are so important, just check out the 129 speed dinos. You got like super top tier meta dinos like Diloracheirus here. And you got what other stuff like Erlidom. Vex isn't that great. Spinotosuchus, obviously. And then you got the Smilodon as well, if you're playing non-hybrid stuff, although non-hybrid one doesn't have boost. Well, at least not for the epics. The common and rare ones, that's probably going to be a thing. But also the new Erlidominus, that's also 129. And then if you check out the 126s, these are all really important ones as well. If you got Diloracheirus, that's a big one. Paramalox, a big one. The biggest one here is probably Utarinex. You also got Thoradolosaur in there as well, And then if you go down to the 109s, Dracoceratops, huge, Tenontorex, and Thoradolosaur. These are three big 109s, right? Although Dracoceratops, pro tip, don't speed boost your Dracoceratops. Do not speed boost it. It's better to be slower than your opponent's dino, so you can get that acute stun in most scenarios, right? So that's why we're looking at 109, 126, and 129s. So looking at these new tiers, we're going to look at which tier you need to be to outspeed a tier on the next category. So at 109, tier 1 to tier 4, you can't outspeed 126. Like even at tier 4, you're only at 120 speed. So that's going to be a problem if you're the 109 dino. So if you really, really want to outspeed a base 126, and remember this is base 126, you need to get to tier 5. And most opponents, they're probably not going to throw out a base speed 126 Renex at you. So that's why you probably need to up it one more. So at 135, this is a really I guess this is probably the most crucial speed tier for 109s at tier 6, because at tier 6 you outspeed a tier 5 126. So at 127 you only outspeed the tier 1s, but once you get to tier 6 you jump like 3 tiers, and then you outspeed them at tier 3, and then after that it's just 1 for 1, right? And then tier 10 you got nothing. And so if you are looking to up or speed boost your 109 dinos, at least get them to tier 5. And if you really want to outspeed 126s, boost them up to tier 6. As for 129s, it's going to be really hard to outspeed. Tier 6 only outspeeds their base speeds, which is yikes. But then, also outspeeds them up to tier 2, which isn't too hard for them to get. But, in this graph, you could also see a few really interesting tiers that you could get to outspeed 129s as well, although I didn't really highlight them. But, say at tier 7, boost or outspeed a tier 4, which that's a bit more relevant. And then tier 8 is, you get the tier 5s. But just remember, like, these costs get super expensive when you get later into the tiers. So moving on, let's go and compare 126 to 129s. So the first tier you will outspeed base 129s are tier 2. Or is that tier 2? At tier 2 you outspeed them at base. Tier 3 you outspeed them at tier 1. Wait, is that tier 1? No. Yeah, you outspeed them at tier 1. And then tier 4, I guess, is probably the most important tier for 126 dinos. You match them at tier 2, which you outspeed tier 1s and then match them at tier 2s. So and then after that, every tier is just you'll have to be one tier higher than the 129 to outspeed them. So that's not super hard to understand. So now let's go over some other stuff. Let's go over how many points you get per boost. So at tier 1, tier 2, you get 2 points in speed. Tier 3 is 3 points. Tier 4, 4 points. Tier 5, that's a big jump. That's the that's the one you need to get from your 109 Dinos to outspeed base speed 126s. And then after that, tier 6 you get 8. Tier 7 is 8. Tier 8 is 7. Tier 9 is 5, and tier 10 is 4. So although you see some like really big numbers here, like at tier 6 and 7 you got 8 per boost, but if you look at the cost, it's actually quite expensive, right? So if you look at the cost per stat, at first you get the full benefit of the boosts and the cost, and then after that it just starts dropping like pretty crazy. So this is not hard cash cost. This is the stat, just the amount of stat boosts you need versus the gains the marginal gains you get, right? Should have clarified that a bit in the title, I guess. So even though you get huge marginal gains here, the percentage that you're like, this is a huge drop off from tier 7 to tier 8, right? Although the biggest drop off is the first one, from 100 to 50. But when you get to like that last year, sometimes you wonder, like, is it even worth it? Like, it's gonna cost you like thousands just to get from tier 9 to tier 10. So probably you do have to consider that, and you're not gaining that much through the boost. So really, these are costly things, man. These speed boosts and boosts in general, I guess. So anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. As you can see, it's really hard to catch up for the lower speeds now. Last or not last patch, but before they fixed this, you could see like super fast Thoradolosaurs just running over like all your 129, 126 dinos, and then in this new or I guess updated version of Speed Boost, it's going to be a bit harder. Still possible, but a bit harder. So if you are one of those Trichosaurus users, Tenontorex users, Thoradolosaur users, and you just want to run over your opponent's team, well, I guess now you know which tier you have to get to outspeed everything. And if you're trying to not get, because those are, I've been on the receiving end of those, and those are horrible experiences. So you also know which tiers you could get to stay safe. So anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Just going over all the speed boosts. Hopefully these are slightly helpful for you guys to, if you guys are planning on using your speed boost, where to use them, how much to use, which tier to get to make them more relevant, I guess. So, yep, hope you guys enjoyed it. Also, if you, again, thanks to Chreden for making most of this sheet. I added a few more points that I wanted to make in here as well. And again, if you want to discuss it with him or myself, you could join the Discord in the description link. And also stay subscribed to the channel for more new videos. That will be uploaded to the channel probably later today. Actually, no. You know what? I'm probably planning a live stream later, but I'm not sure. Like 30 attempts on Irritator. Like, I really don't want to wait till Tuesday and Wednesday when there's also commons in there, so it's gonna dilute the event spawn. So I kind of want to get them all done on Monday. So I'm not sure. I might or might not have a live stream later today. So I'll probably talk about it in the Discord. So I'll give you guys a heads up if I'm gonna live stream some Jurassic World Live viewer battles and stuff. But yep, that's gonna be it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.